Crippling pain, nausea, symptoms millions of women suffer from but struggle to find out why.
Even doctors are left stumped by this illness that so far really has no cure. Meg McLeod shares the story of one woman fighting to overcome.
I'll ask the Simpson sisters too, but I'm not asking. You know who.
Reading the Dr. Seuss chronicles of Hooper Humperdinck never gets old for the Licht family, especially their giggly toddler Trevor, even if he's memorized half the book by now.
And some other R's in a big blue bus. Good job.
6 years ago, though, Christina and Robert Licht weren't sure their dream of having a family would become a reality. Christina was struggling with infertility. The couple started seeing a gynecologist, but after a year, they still couldn't get pregnant. Little did they know, this was a clue to a much bigger problem. Christina soon started getting tired more easily.
And then it kind of started to get overwhelming to the point where I would have these episodes where I couldn't actually, I felt like my muscles were kind of shutting down.
Her symptoms progressed. She couldn't keep food down, she lost weight, she was constantly nauseous.
I almost at one point felt like I was dying. I mean, it was really that bad.
Robert watched helplessly as his wife deteriorated to a frail 84 pounds.
If I'm not strong for her, then, it's hard for her to be strong for herself.
After doctor found nothing, family members started to become skeptical. Even Christina had started to doubt herself.
Other people thought, well, maybe, she's kind of making this up, and maybe, there's something else that's going on psychologically. And so then I kind of started to feel, geez, am I making this all up?
By now, a new symptom had appeared, frequent nosebleeds. Surprisingly, though, her kidney specialist would be the first to figure out their underlying cause.
I started to notice that they were about every 4 weeks.
Those nosebleeds seemed to coincide with her menstrual cycle. Her kidney doctor suggested she go back to where she began, her gynecologist, who suggested she has endometriosis.
Endometriosis is a disease process that basically involves cells that normally line the uterus, and they are located in a place where they shouldn't be.
In Christina, those cells were in an unusual spot, all the way up in her nasal cavity, causing her nose to bleed. For most women, those cells are found on the fallopian tubes, bladder, or other pelvic organs. Those cells create lesions, which can cause, among other things, painful periods, pain while going to the bathroom and during sex, and, like in Christina's case, fatigue and infertility. However, because these symptoms can be easily mistaken for other illnesses, endometriosis is very hard to diagnose. And for the millions of women who, like her, may be suffering and struggling to find answers, Christina says, don't give up.
Just keep on pushing and keep on looking for answers, and find a doctor that is willing to listen to you and focus on your symptoms, and who has suggestions.
She has a very significant case and not something that you see day in and day out.
Ultimately, the only way to know if you have endometriosis is through a minor surgery called laparoscopy, where the doctors use a camera to see if you have lesions. If so, they remove them. A month after she had the surgery, Christina says she was finally able to keep food down again and began gaining back the nearly 40 pounds she'd lost.
During that year was probably the most amazing that I've felt since before college, since I was probably in high school.
Unfortunately, her fight is not over. Even with surgery and the hormone treatments that follow, the lesions will most likely return.
This is not going to go away, so you have to be prepared for this to come back.
In Christina's case, she's been able to slow down the progression of her disease with hormones, but she's seeing signs it's started to come back.
I have days where I'm really weak and fatigued, and so I'm not, quite as full of energy as I used to be, but nothing that I can't get past and get around.
No matter how tough things get, Robert knows she'll fight through.
She's the strongest person I know. She's stronger than me, I can tell you that. I don't know how she does it, but she's amazing.
The Lichts have a long road ahead of them. For now, though, this young family is taking it one page at a time.
And so, I sort of think I will ask Hooper Humperdinck. Yeah, come on over, Humperdinck.
Christina says she will soon switch from birth control and go back on the stronger hormonal treatment she was on following her surgery to alleviate her symptoms. In the studio, Meg McLeod, WNEM TV 5.
With coverage you can count on.